It's not hard to create a course in Performance Matters. First log in and then click Propose a Course. Now it looks like you want to fill in this information, but actually what you want to do is click on this plus sign where it says New Instructor-Led Course. Now you can write in the information about your course. Keep in mind for the title that if this is a course that you're planning to offer repeatedly, for example, performance planning, don't be too specific. You can create specific sections of that course later on for example, your January and March and May performance planning. So I'm just going to call this Performance Planning Algebra 1. I'm going to write a description here. And I might want to be more specific about it. I can edit this later, and that'll be my plan, to come up with a better description later on. But for now, I've just written something in there. My department is automatically selected for me, Organizational Learning. I've automatically have a face-to-face course selected. The box that I want to pay attention to is focus on student success. And in here, I just want to choose any topic that's applicable. So let's see, I'm definitely going to be talking about instructional strategies. And I'm also going to select secondary math, and that looks good for now to me. I am not going to be focusing on students, families, and communities. That's mostly FACES stuff and the communications department, student services. I'm not going to focus on operational excellence because I am not from transportation or security or any of those. I'm also not going to be focusing on employee wellness or JESA or health services, so I'm going to choose not applicable in all those boxes, as well as the financial stewardship office, because I'm not leading an accounting training. The one I really am going to pay attention to most often is the student success box, since I'm in organizational learning. The teachers do get CPE hours for any sort of training that would prepare them to provide better instruction or that would improve student success, and so they do get credit for this. My training is from 8 to 4. We have an hour for lunch, so this would be 7 hours of CPE credit. The course survey is automatically selected there. There's only one option, and it's the standard survey. I do want to allow my participants to enroll in multiple sections. That's because I'm going to offer this more than once this year. I'm going to have it in January and March and maybe in May, so I'm going to check that box, but not the others. Okay, let's create this. And I can come back and edit this later if I want to also. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and create this course. So here's my basic information. That all looks right. The first thing I need to do is set my locations. These are the locations from which teachers can register. So in other words, what schools am I going to invite to this training? So I'll click on Set Locations. And then where it says region, I want to change that to school. I believe my area is area 5. Yes, it is. You can just check your areas until you find the one that populates your schools. So I'm going to choose Bussy and add them. You do have to add them one at a time. And I'm going to choose Jackson and add them. Let's say this is for the honors algebra classes, 8th grade honors. So I'm going to add all my middle schools then. I'm going to add Sellers and Webb. So now I've got all of my middle schools invited. And I also need to invite everybody from the Professional Development Center, because if I don't do that, I won't be able to access the link myself. So I'll choose Garland ISD, and then I'll choose down here the Sugar Building Professional Development Center. That's us. And I'll add that as well. So now anybody from any one of these 5 locations will be able to register for this course. If they're not in one of those 5 locations, they can't register. I'm going to click Done. All right, so my locations are set, and I could show those by clicking on my plus sign. I'm not going to do anything with the demographics or the resources, but I am going to come down here to Competencies and click Align Rubrics. This is going to let me choose which areas of T-tests I'm going to focus on. The default is T-PES. I'm going to change that. Okay, now I have my dimensions here. For performance planning, I'm going to be focusing on standards and alignment, activities. You really should only choose 3 or 4 here. It might be tempting to choose all of them, but we will just want to choose a few areas of focus. So let's see, what else are we going to do? Content, knowledge, and expertise. And I think I'm also going to check data and assessment. So I chose 4. And then check down at the bottom, align to elements. So now those 7 hours of CPE credit the teachers get are in those dimensions. Done. Okay, so then I'm managing my course. I can edit my course, and that's what I'm going to do so that I can go in there and create those sections. I could submit it for review right now if I was ready to send it, but I'm not done with all of my details yet. So I'm going to go back to edit course. So I've got all of this stuff set on the right, and then I need to scroll down, and I will create a new section of it. And I'm going to entitle this one March 2018. You know what? Let me put performance planning in front of that just so I know what it is that's in March. And this time the location, we actually are talking about where it is. So here I do want the GRCTC is where this training is going to be. And let me go get the address for that. Okay. I'm just going to get it and copy paste it in there. And you need to know your room number also. And y'all, if you don't know all this information right now, then just save your work as a draft and come back and enter it in later. That's okay. So I'm the contact person for this course. I'm going to put my email in there. Right now there's a maximum number of 25 participants. You can change that. If you think this is a section that might be waitlisted, you can choose to allow a wait list. I don't think I'm going to have a wait list for algebra for performance planning, so I'm not going to do that. You do need to choose the date for your session. And you should be able to change this later. So I'm going to say, let's see, this is my March date, March 9th, and it's going to end on March 9th. And the end of registration date. If you don't choose this, then the latest they can register is March 7th. And you know they're going to register on March 8th, so choose a date here. I'm going to choose March 9th. I'm going to let them register the morning of. I'm okay with that. But that's up to you. The start time is going to be 8 a.m. and the ending time is going to be 4 p.m. The number of subs, this is, it's okay if you get this wrong. It doesn't necessarily have to be accurate, but it helps us know how many subs to budget for, how many to expect overall based on the professional development that's being offered in the district. So I'm going to say that probably 8 people will attend this, and they'll probably all need a sub. If you release the section now, then it'll be available, and teachers can start registering immediately. Alternatively, you could choose another date in the future on which the teachers can start registering. We don't have the instructors set yet, but that's okay. If you want to give your teachers information about the training you're going to offer, you can write that down here if you want to. Okay, so I'm going to create this section. It looks good. See, it says no class time set, and that's not a bug. I have to go in and manually adjust that, even though my class time default is here. I need to manually add my class time again. It's not hard to do. It's just, it feels like we shouldn't have to do it. So let's start by clicking on Manage Instructors. Click on Instructors, and I'm going to add myself. Whoops, there we go. Okay, so find the user. And you can add as many instructors as you need to. Okay, done. I'm just going to add myself for now, but I could add another instructor if I was teaching this with somebody else. Managing the class times. I'll click on that. And then I'll click Add a New Day. And look, it already knows what day I wanted because I told it that earlier. So I just have to confirm that that's what I wanted. So I'll click Save. And then back to the section. Okay, so now you can see that I do have a class time in there and I do have an instructor in there. I'm not going to view the roster right now. Nobody's been invited to this yet, so there's nothing to look at. Okay, so I'll click done. And I should have a section created. Now you see I can submit this for review. And I believe this is ready to submit for review. So, do I want to submit this for review or not? It's not actually a real course. I'm going to go ahead and submit it for review. Okay, and then Nelson will get an email asking him to approve that course. And then I can see under courses I teach, well, actually under propose a course is where it's still going to show up because it hasn't been approved yet. So on the left hand over here, I have my course projects. These would be like drafts I'm working on. I don't have any I'm working on right now because I just submitted that course. So under submitted courses, I can see this one. Now, this one's not actually a real course that I intend to offer. So I'm not really expecting this to be approved, but once it's approved, it'll move over to this section of my approved courses. And I do have a few in there. Anyway, back to those submitted courses. If you want, like if you need to change a small detail, you can copy your course and then you can edit that copy. You can also view your course. And later on, you'll be able to make changes to the details that you've set up. So I'm going to go show you some courses that I've already taught. So under courses I teach, I have a few that are viewable right now. Here's the training for the new PD system, but down below, here's my performance planning days that I've already had this year. I'm going to look at my 7th grade day down here, and I'll click on the section so that I can show you how the attendance looks. So here's my basic information about the course, and now I can view roster because I did have people attend that course. Nice, so now you can see my roster. I marked all of these people that they had attended. You can do that by scanning the QR code from the name tents. You can do that by printing a sign-in sheet and then come in and marking them as attended. You can print out a QR code for your course and have all of your attendees scan it to say that they have attended. There's different ways to do that. After your course, you're going to want to click on roster status and choose attended. And once you do that, it indicates that your course is complete. And then after doing that, you're going to click this little lock to lock all of your attendance in. So the roster is now finalized. And you can see that I've done that on here. If I wanted to print my name tents, then I could click on name tags up here. And then I have my printable table tents. I could include the QR code and just click on that little link and it'll give you all of your, and I don't have any right now because they've all attended, but there would be if we were preparing to offer this. You can also print your sign-in sheet, and so all of your different, or you can print your section code also. See it back there. Just if you print the section code, I'd suggest putting it out at the end of the session and allowing at that time everybody to mark themselves present. So there's different ways that you can do this. You can also check your wait list from here. When you are getting ready to send a link to register for your teachers, you're actually going to want to come over to this courses section and look for the course here. This is why we added ourselves, our location to this. So I'm going to search performance planning. And let's see if I can find it. Okay, here's my 6th grade math performance planning that's coming up tomorrow. You can see there's 19 out of 25 seats left. I could click register here. I'm just going to click on it. And this is where I want my, this is the page that I want to send to my teachers. So I'm going to take that URL and send that one to them. They can register by clicking on sections, and that's where they get their register button. So I suppose actually this is the URL that I want to send to my teachers, where it's clicked on sections. And I'll use a URL shortener to do that.